little Aztec hoops right now, and we're very happy to have back on the staff out there with Coach Steve Fisher, the assistant basketball coach, coming back after a couple of years working with Dave Rice over there at UNLV, and that is Justin Hutson. And Justin, welcome to the Western Exterminator Hotline. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, great having you back here. You spent 5 years with Coach Fisher, a golden opportunity to go to UNLV, probably a little bit more money, probably a better coaching title, but you were drawn back to the Aztecs.
Drawn back to be back home. You know, it's been a great 5 years here. Really enjoyed my time, really enjoyed the city, most of all the players and the coaches, and was happy to come back.
You know, Justin, I know before you came to San Diego State, you'd coached at a couple of other schools in Division II. You get a golden opportunity to work with Coach Fisher, and then you were given a really great opportunity, I think, going over to UNLV. And now you come back and you see how another Division I program that's very successful worked, and now you come back to San Diego State, and I would imagine a little bit more seasoned and maybe a few more ideas that you can help maybe impart to this basketball program at San Diego State.
Well, you're always constantly learning, and you're right. You're right about that. I mean, each year you're going to grow and you're going to learn different things through scouting, through just clinics, through watching film. But, you know, it's always nice to get out and see other ideas of other places. You know, not a lot of things that were, mind-numbing or anything like that, anything that you're going to automatically say, hey, Coach Fisher, this is what we have to do. But you're just always trying to be a person that learns, and you learn from others. And I learned a lot in the last few years. I'm just happy to be back because also, I enjoyed my time here.
Hey, what kind of guy was Dave Rice to work for? Because I remember, he was an assistant there at BYU for a number of years and then got the opportunity at UNLV. And it looks like, along with you and the other guys on the staff, you guys did a good job.
We did. We had a lot of success there the last few years, 51 games, 2 NCAA tournaments, pretty high seeds. But he was a great guy to work for. A really nice guy, very knowledgeable, caring. It was no problem with Dave Rice at all. Just excited to get back with Coach Fisher.
Hey, when you went in and told Coach Rice that you were leaving, what did he say?
He was a little quiet for a while. We talked about hypothetically different situations because there's always opportunities that come up, in the spring when you're an assistant coach, and you've been fortunate to be around people that have had a lot of success and your programs are successful. There's always rumors and phone calls and different opportunities that come up. And we talked about this one hypothetically. I didn't know if he thought I would pull the trigger as quick as I did, but he's always very supportive once I decided this is what I was going to do. We're
visiting with Justin Hutson, assistant basketball coach at San Diego State. Now you come back after venturing out there to UNLV, being out in the desert for 2 years. When you come back to Coach Fisher's staff, I would imagine you've got an increased role of responsibilities more maybe than you had before you left.
I don't know. I'm not sure that's true. I mean, I don't think anybody could have had much more responsibility than I had the last year I was here as an assistant coach. And Coach Fisher lets us all do a lot. We all work together. No man's above the other, and I would be happy just to come back and have the same responsibility that I had when I left. I don't need to have any more.
Okay, you're going to be that guy out on the road. Now, I would imagine, school's going to be getting out for these high school kids here in the next, 3 to 4 weeks. And, man, all these basketball extravaganzas you got to go to. You're going to have a very, very busy summer, aren't you?
Yeah, Coach. That's the life of a college coach. June is camps here on campus. July is out recruiting. August is back on campus getting guys started for school. So, it's always a pretty busy summer. May and June, you always want to get unofficial visits and get guys to come on campus. So it's fun. You're looking forward to it, but it is a lot of work.
Hey, Justin, and they keep changing the rules on, different things, when you can go watch and evaluate players. The month of July, is that pretty much open now?
There's 3 4-day blocks in July that we can go watch. So it goes Thursday through Sunday, I believe, 12 days. They change it around, it seems like, every couple of years. But for right now, there's 3 4-day blocks that you go out in July.
How much contact, when you go to maybe one of the big tournaments in Vegas or something like that, Can you talk to the athletes during that time, or you can only evaluate?
You can only evaluate during that time. And they're constantly, I mean, we were out this April, and we had a period out this April in the spring that last time I was at San Diego State, the April period was closed. Now it's back open. And now you can text the parents, I guess, after the games, and we didn't know, and the rules are always changing whether you can text somebody or call somebody, but I do know in July that's a strictly evaluation period.
And we're visiting with Justin Hutson, the assistant basketball coach at San Diego State, joining us on the Western Exterminator Hotline. You bring up texting. I was reading an article last week, and there for a while it was kind of like you could only text so much, and then you could pretty much unlimited text. What is the rule now as far as texting a potential recruit?
Once you become June 15th after your sophomore year, you can text or call as much as you want. You can email, text, or call as much as you want after June 15th of your sophomore year. So all the sophomores who will graduate in the 2015 class, June 15th is a huge day for them. They'll start getting bombarded. People thought that, unlimited would be too much, but, the recruits can control that stuff. If they don't want to answer, if they don't want to respond back, they don't have to.
The other thing, you're talking about phone calls. It used to be you could call like one time a week, and if they called you back and you weren't there and they left a message, you still couldn't call them back for that week.
Yeah, there was all kind of funny rules. Make sure you couldn't leave too long of a message. If your message was too long, then you used up your call, and then all of a sudden nowadays with the iPhones and stuff, if you pocket dial somebody, you could really get in trouble. So I'm glad they took that away.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I love that. How many days do you figure you'll be on the road this summer going somewhere?
Well, it starts in July, and we'll only be for 12 days in July, but April was a big period. We were out a couple weekends in April. So the season ends in all of a sudden you think you have a little break, but you really got to get started in the recruiting because the April recruiting period is very big, and then you kind of have a little downtime as far as leaving campus in May and June. You're kind of on dry dock in May and June.
You've got a great reputation out in the recruiting community and the college basketball community as far as really getting to know the kids and really caring about the kids, and I think that's a great trademark that you have and a great reputation you have in that area. And my question to you, you're talking about sophomore years. When you go out, when will you start really bearing down on guys? I know there are a lot more freshmen now that are playing varsity basketball, and you go to all the clubs and all these big tournaments, but when will you really start bearing down on guys?
Probably their sophomore year. Probably sometime their sophomore year you can really start, identifying and after once June 15th comes, you'll start making connections with them and build a relationship, and then as they get into their junior year, you really need to get serious because they can sign in November of their senior year before anybody even starts playing their season. So I would say probably 70% of the players sign in November, and the season hasn't even started. So your sophomore and your junior year are huge, and as far as recognition, and then start build that relationship with the prospect and his family.
When Coach Fisher first really kind of got this program going, he went the junior college route, and he brought in guys like Al Fox and Randy Holcomb, and of course he got Tony Bland, who ended up being a bounce back from Syracuse. But how about as far as junior college? How much do you canvass the junior college ranks? Now, I wouldn't think a whole lot, just because you guys have been very fortunate to recruit a lot of great freshmen over the last several years.
I think year to year, and I think junior college is is very good players in junior college,
right?
And I think you don't want to overlook those guys. You always want to canvass the America basically with junior college, because so many kids leave California because they can get scholarships at the national junior colleges where they can't get those in California. But I think it's year to year. Obviously, Deshaun Stevens was a good junior college player that filled in. There wasn't a lot of high school guys with size that year, so we were very fortunate to get Deshaun right before I left. And I think every year is going to be a little different, but there's some junior college players out there that we really got to take a look at and evaluate.
Hey, Justin, before I let you go, this time of year now that, school's winding up on Montezuma Mesa, what kind of contact can you have with your players as far as over the summer? Do you get an opportunity once a week to work with guys on the floor, or is it pretty much taboo until school starts again?
Great question, and that was a question, Coach, that changed, I think, about a year ago. You used to not be able to do anything with them in the summer as far as basketball activities. They would just get in the weight room. But now they changed it to where we can at least have, 2 hours a week on the floor with the young men. So we can break it up into 3 days a week, like 40-minute blocks. And now we can at least spend some time with them, make sure they're not forgetting everything that we're trying to let them, let them know they need to do. And then the rest of the 6 hours they can spend in the weight room and conditioning and stuff. So as long as they're in summer school and they're enrolled in summer school, you can still spend some time with them.
Now, that's good because they can really hone their skills in the summer, work on their low post moves and leverage and stuff like that. That's very important time, I think, to develop as a basketball player is in the summer when you can do a lot of one-on-one teaching.
You're right, Coach.
Hey, Justin, thank you so much for the time. Welcome home. Very excited about the upcoming season. We're very excited over here at the radio station that we're going to be carrying Aztec football and basketball and all the other sports that we're going to put on the radio for the next 4 years. So we'll look forward to a lot of good times together.
Great, Coach. Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome, Justin. Good luck, congratulations, and welcome home.